Good afternoon and welcome to this episode of Supercruise News. I'm Arthur Tommy, Community Manager at Frontier, and I'm joined by the ever astute, the beautifully youthful, forever young, dashing, charming, wonderful Bruce Garrido. Welcome, Bruce.
Thank you very much for the incredibly and unusually kind introduction, Arthur. I appreciate it. Greetings, Commanders. It's very exciting to be back with you again for another edition of the Supercruise News.
Yes, so now I forgot, is this issue 20 or 33?
26.
There you go. Absolutely nailed it. 26. Episode 26. So this show, Bruce, just to give you an idea, we're going to go through some news. Bruce will be playing through some of the CG. I will be sort of streaming his screen. I will be answering some questions. I'm sure there's still some questions from last week's assets. So any of the questions that sort of pop up in chat reference the mission playthrough we showed you. I will do my best to answer or log to get answers from our dev team. So that's what we're going to do. And then we've got a special a guest at the end who we want to bring on and say hello to. So stick around for that. But first off, we have some news. So Bruce, you want to get into the news?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to touch on a few bits today, guys. We have some game news, some community news, and some Reddit highlights for you. I was just distracted by the chat, actually. Particular comment by Atomic Gortz, which in 4 words is "Arf is so cool." I think it's the slouch beanie.
Hey, I'm using it because I'm trying to desperately cling on to my youth. Desperately, like claws are dug into the table. I'm not going to grow old gracefully. I will just continue to. Next week it'll be a cap on backwards or sideways. I think I'll do the sideways cap.
Hello, fellow kids. Right.
Oh, you should say some 07s to the chat. See, there's quite a lot of people in today. So Commander CyberTX 07, Wheezy 07, Dahir 07, Golden Knight 07, Heather G as always 07. Thank you, and again thank you to all of our mods that are in here doing great work. So thank you 07 to all the mods. Glitz Helix 07, English Gen, loads of people in. So welcome. No drops on this stream. You just have our wonderful nuggets of information that we'll be dropping today. But drops will return, and as I said before, I know we have seen and we do know that people have a lot of the purple drops. We are working on getting some new shinies, so it won't always be purple. I promise you that. So yeah, 07 everyone, thanks for joining. Sorry, Bruce. The news.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. We have heard what you guys have said about the purple drops. We would like to continue them at some point in the future, but we understand that maybe here and there in the meantime, we do something a little bit different. So we are working on that. Cool. Yeah. So game wise then, in case you missed it somehow last week, we released a bit of Odyssey gameplay. So we showcased a mission playthrough where 3 commanders were tasked with extracting a power regulator. You can check that out using !Odyssey mission if you're on Twitch. Otherwise, if you're on YouTube, just check out the Elite Dangerous channel and you'll be able to see the VOD. Afterwards, we interviewed Gareth Hughes, so one of the lead designers.
The nicest guy.
Really cool guy.
Yeah.
And we talked about Odyssey and the mission playthrough itself, as well as some sort of periphery stuff to do with Odyssey in general. An exclamation mark Odyssey interview will take you to a recap of that conversation. You could also watch it on the same stream on YouTube if you missed it. That was a really nice chat, actually. Like I say, Gareth is excellent at what he does, and we've learned a lot from him.
Yeah, and we have listened to a lot of the feedback from the video, and actually I think what I'll do as well whilst we're doing this stream and you're playing the game, I'll probably share some behind the scenes stuff, which I think you guys will pretty like about how we recorded it and stuff like that. We might go into like a full version. I think it might have been Alec Turner suggested it in one of the, I can't remember, I saw it at a forum or somewhere about doing like almost a director's commentary where we talk about how we recorded certain things, which I think is a cool idea. If we get time, we'll do it. But I also want to talk and share about some of the stories we had when we made it. So I'll go into some of those details in today's stream. So if you have questions about that particular mission and what we did and didn't do, or how hard it was, etc., please feel free to drop those in. I have seen some of the questions, some of the concerns raised from the video about some of the AI. I think was one of the key things. The devs are. I want to reiterate again that is pre-alpha footage. So all the stuff we recorded there is old stuff. That was old engine, old AI. And the devs are very keen to stress that AI issue has been addressed, and they are always looking at tweaking it. And of course, with the alpha coming up on the 29th, it's a super important piece for the devs to get as many players as they can into the alpha, because you can build features for a game, but you don't really know how they're going to perform or how they're going to work correctly until you get the numbers in, which is very, very difficult to do, especially with a game like Elite, when you've only got a dev team working in. So alpha is going to be really, really important. So yes, the AI has been looked at, and it is not the AI, which I will assure you, although some of you said looked worryingly easy, I can confirm from experience they are not easy.
Yeah, so I know AI was probably the number one thing that we saw comments on after showing the mission playthrough, and Arthur, I think, was alluding to what's just come to mind, which is there were many takes or run-throughs or attempts where we were just instantly killed, or our ship was blown up, or something went wrong just because of how strong the AI actually was. So bearing that in mind, there are different, and I think we touched on this in the interview with Gareth, actually. So there are going to be versions of the AI based on things like the state of the settlement or the faction or whatever the case may be that will be higher ranked and more difficult to kill and better at killing you. It's also very much a case of how upgraded your your suits and your weapons are versus theirs. That kind of thing is all taken into account. So for the mission playthrough, for the sake of showing the content, we didn't want to just be instantly killed or blown up. So there's a little bit of artistic license there. Don't worry.
Yeah. And I've said it before. Red barrels do go bang. So although we did do it plenty of times, and red barrels do go bang. It's a staple, right? You can't have red barrel and they don't explode. So they do go bang. So yeah, if people are asking that. Sorry, Bruce, carry on, my friend.
No, all good. All right, so the last sort of bit of news attached to that, if you haven't seen it already, was we added an end slate to that asset, which announced the launch date of the alpha. So if you're on PC and you've pre-ordered the deluxe alpha version of Odyssey, you can help us fine-tune the game as of the 29th of March with your feedback through access to the alpha. To join in, just head to the Frontier store to pre-order using !Odyssey pre-order. More details on the alpha and how to get access will be coming very soon. Obviously, it's fewer than 3 weeks away now, which is incredibly exciting.
Yes, 20 days to be exact, young Bruce. And actually, the communication for the alpha stuff I'm actually working on right now. Well, not right now, on stream right now, obviously, but it's my high priority list. So I'm just going through the different phasings of what will happen in alpha and stuff like that. So I want to get that as clear as possible and send it out to you all to read through.
Yeah, a very fair question there from Aurum Works about how the pre-order suit looks. It's called the Pioneer suit, right? Which
Correct.
is an exclusive for anyone who does pre-order. I haven't actually seen it myself, but I wonder if that's something we might be able to tease or show. I don't want to get in trouble here, but maybe we can give you guys a sneak peek.
Look, I've said this before on stream. It's something that people have pre-ordered and you want to see it. I think they're just working through final artwork on it, if I'm being totally honest. So I will get it. It's something you want to see, and it's something I think you should see. So I will absolutely be hassling them. I brought it up in today's meeting. I will hassle the relevant departments, but obviously, I don't know if you listened to the Flight Assist podcast I did with Mel and Psyche, but one of the things I said is it's understanding that when we put an asset out nowadays, it's not like when we used to do assets. When I was a boy, and you would get stuff in a magazine, you'd look at an image in a magazine, you'd be like, oh, that's really cool, and you'd put it away, and that'd be done. In today's world, you put an image out, be it an asset or a screenshot, and it is, dismantled down to every pixel, and it could be concept, it could just be like, what was okay in the past doesn't work anymore, because then when it goes out, it's like that is fact, that's what's going to happen, and so everyone's very, very careful to make sure what goes out is what you're going to get. And we don't want to sort of get that wrong. So it does take a little bit of time. I do appreciate you want to see it. I will hassle the right people to get that for you.
Excellent. All right. Last little bit in terms of in-game news, and this is the actual in-game stuff regarding the lore. So the Galactic Summit is now ongoing in the Sirius system. And this week you've had two ways. Well, starting last week, you've had two ways to support it. Obviously, the CG will end this Thursday. You can either defend the summit by cashing in bounties, which we're going to be doing a little bit of on stream later today, or you can help feed the summit and the people attending. Well, yeah, the people attending rather than the summit itself, by delivering fruit and veg, animal meat, fish, coffee, and wine. Tier 1 has been met, I believe, already, so it's essentially complete. It's just a question of whether everyone will reach the final tier for the stretch reward, but it has been completed. So the top 75% of commanders will get a permanent Sirius permit. as well as the Cobra Mark III acceleration white paint job. I don't know if we have a picture of that.
I do. It's on the content page, Bruce, and I'm terrified to go to that page just yet. So remind me to go back to that in a moment.
No
it is all. Look, everyone knows when I'm hosting a stream, it's never going to be perfect. I will always get something wrong. So I put all of the content in the content page, lined up all the little pictures, and then didn't put it into any particular order. So when we go to content, who knows what we're going to see? But it will be.
Oh, that's more exciting. Just spin the wheel, see what we get.
That's what I do. It's what I do.
And the top 25% will be getting the acceleration gold version of that paint job, whereas the top 10, and that's like not 10%, but the actual top 10 will be getting a free Imperial Clipper. Exclamation mark CG for the details. You can still get involved. Like I say, it cuts off on Thursday morn. So if you haven't reached that any of those brackets yet, and you still want to push for them, get involved. That just about wraps things up for the game news. We have some community bits to touch on. Arf, would you like me to cover those, or
I've taken your feedback on board, Bruce, and you asked for the Bruce sandwich, which I'm quite excited to be part of, and I shall be the filling in this. So in the community news, of which there are only 3 points, one of them relates to me. Now I'm going to be reading from a sheet because I haven't done my homework. Unlike Garrido, I've been a terrible boss by just rocking up to the stream like some sort of rock star and getting it all wrong. So. Community news first up. Huge congratulations to the Sky Shark and Captain Metzi on completing the Operation Starlight Escape charity streams. They raised a total of $1,750 for charity for the charity Starlight. So a big well done to them. And if you want to find out more about the Starlight and those commanders, please use !Starlight in the chat. So well done. I love the fact our community does this sort of stuff. So big shout out to the Sky Shark, Captain Metzi, for that. Awesome work. Shout out to Commander Orange Phoenix, made this fantastic wood carving of an asp. I need to be going to the content page for this. Orange Phoenix and the asp, remind me, it will be shown on the next page. This was given away to charity too, so congrats Orange Phoenix for doing that. I will show you a picture of the asp in a second. And then obviously I appeared on this week's Flight Assist podcast to discuss all things Elite Dangerous. And if you use !Flight Assist to give it a listen, on Spotify, and if you don't use Spotify, it's available elsewhere. Just give it a Google. Flight Assist is a great show actually. So if you do like some real casual sort of Elite Dangerous chat, it's well worth having a look.
Flight Assist is great. So it's hosted, if you haven't tuned in already, guys, by lovely content creators Psykit and Mal for the Win. Those guys make excellent hosts. They've just kicked off season 2, which Arthur's just said is on Spotify. It's a real treat because they talk about in-game stuff, but actually with more of a focus on the commanders themselves and people who are actually making and doing things in the game, and their sort of motivations and whatnot. And that's really, really nice. Cool angle.
So what I'm going to do, Bruce, I'm going to flick to the content page, and if it doesn't all set on fire, we'll see what's there, and I'm going to flick up that asp if I can find it. So give me 2 seconds. Bear with me, chat. Here we go. We're on set of screenshots, but that's okay. It's okay. I can do this. Have faith in me, chat. Here I am. I'm moving through the files. Wooden asp. Seen it. I've put that one on. I've just got to turn that one off. Ta-da! There we go. There's the wooden asp. And we can see Stephen, who was supposed to be secret. He was supposed to be our secret guest. I'm gonna move. Don't look at Stephen. He's not there. Let's move him across. Push him. Push him away. Push it. There we go. There you go. Go away, Stephen. It's not for you. There we go. Excellent.
Hijacking our stream.
How dare he? How dare he? And now, no, everything's going wrong. Everything's going wrong. There we go. It's there. It's there. This is better than we could have planned it, to be fair. It's all going horribly wrong. Right, okay, so this will do. Bruce, you're now awkwardly to the right-hand side of the screen. This is the asp from Orange Phoenix, and it was given to charity. So well done, Commander Orange Phoenix, for doing that. Let me just scroll this over so I can see the chat. Nice work. So I'm going to make sure I haven't missed anything else off here. So we asked about the Cobra, the white gold Cobra and stuff like that, right? So let's have a look at what these are, because these are really nice. These are really, really nice skins, actually.
They are.
Big fan of this. I don't know if anyone's watched the show The Boys, but it reminds me of Starlight's uniform. It's got a very superhero-ish vibe to it, but it's very, very cool skins, which were rewarded for last CG, I believe, wasn't it, Bruce?
They'll be rewarded for this upcoming CG.
There we go. So even more reasons to get involved then. Really, really cool.
Yeah, there's still time to get your hands on these guys. If I mean, you might have to make a bit of a push because obviously it's the last couple of days. But yeah, get yourself into that top 75% at least, and you'll get the white version of this.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So next up, Bruce, it's Bruce, and let's see how much more I can get wrong on this stream. Doing well. About 5 things I've got wrong so far.
I've nearly crossed off and got a whole line on my bingo card.
Wait till we try and show gameplay. Then it's a jackpot time. Okay, so we're on to Reddit highlights, I believe, Bruce.
Yeah, I think so. Cool. So, following the mission playthrough of Odyssey last week, Commander Rini of Burpit fame has decided to check out the planet the mission took place on and compare it, so the base game version to the Odyssey version, and created a really nice clip, sort of, nice clip of them side by side, which will.
It's great, actually. I'm really angry because the birds got ahead of us on this one. This is something I wanted to do. But yeah, it's an amazing clip and really demonstrates the difference in planetary tech that you're going to see in Odyssey.
Definitely. I mean, I expect players will be doing a lot of this with their favorite planets and sort of comparing before and afters and seeing the level of upgrade that is coming in Odyssey. It really is staggering.
Yeah. And we had Dr. K on, I think it was last week before, and this really does highlight the staggering amount of work that she does and her team does to get this sort of update in. It's just absolutely mind-blowing. As I said before, when Bruce and I sat down to play Odyssey for the first time, we were literally looked at each other and were like, this just looks and feels like a new game. And that's the impact you have when you're looking at it like that. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. All yours, Bruce. Sorry, mate.
All right. Up next, Commander Brono, Commander Steam Vision, and Commander Infernal Moose and Commander Ghosty managed to reach a fleet carrier on an SRV by nudging it along. There's a full video on YouTube, and you can head to the Reddit thread using !SRV stunt to see this in action. It's quite the feat, and I believe we have an image to share for this one as well.
It's on screen already, Bruce. I'm trying to claw it back. I'm trying to claw back my editing skills, my production skills. It's lost. I'm not going to get this job again. I know. I've blown it. But it's a really cool video. It's actually got some real chill music to it as well, despite the lunacy of what they're attempting. It's a pretty chill video to watch. So,
the absolute madmen have only gone and done it. No, fair play to them. I mean, this is almost sort of Malik level of jumping an SRV from one planet to another, just pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the game, just because you can, and I really respect that. I'm excited, to see what you guys get up to in terms of trying to break stuff and see what buttons you can push in Odyssey, because obviously there's going to be a whole new level to this kind of thing. Yeah. But what an incredible screenshot there. That looks really, really nice. Well done, guys.
It encapsulates what we've always said, which is we have an idea, or we think we know what you're going to do with the tools we provide, and then you go and do something that's just entirely not what we had ever imagined you'd be able to do. So Odyssey will just bring that to a new level. Sorry, I had to lean down there. My phone, I didn't say his name, but Siri just started piping up like I was talking to my phone and started doing stuff. So I have to it's like it's possessed. Honestly, it's the worst thing in the world, that. Sorry, Bruce, carry on.
All good. Up next, we have a 1-minute video from user Tricky-Perception on Reddit, who went deep into a range cloud. It's incredibly atmospheric and gets dark very fast. If you want to check out this cloud, it's in
I have it. We're going to play it, Bruce.
It's in the Shrogo GGYE119 system. I will paste that name into the chat on Twitch and YouTube in the meantime, just so if you guys want to visit it, you can. But here's a quick peek.
This always looks very scary to me, going through these clouds. But he's in a Conda, so, if you're going to do it, that's the ship to do it in. Chat, let me know if this is too loud, by the way. I haven't adjusted any of the sound levels of this stuff, so I do apologise. Someone just said event horizon vibes, anyone? Absolutely. Who's that? And there we go. Awesome. So that is that the last one? I think it might be the last one, Bruce. Was that the last thing?
I believe it was.
And then we move on to one of my favourite sections, which is the stellar screenshots. So I don't know. We'll start at the top, I guess, and work our way down.
Sure.
Okay, so we are starting here. So we had an early preview of this, but this is on an asteroid base. So this is Commander. Now I want to say Navis, but the 3 could be a B, right? So Benavis?
Benavis or Navis.
Oh yeah, it could be Navis. We'll go with Navis. Really cool shot. This almost looks like concept art when you look at concept art when it's drawn in. Really cool shot. Asteroid bases are super cool. If you haven't been to one, I would suggest you go out there. And there's one in the Witch Head as well, which I think is very near the Thargoids. We're doing some stuff out there, some nefarious stuff, no doubt.
Yeah, asteroid bases are really, really cool. Outside and in. This is a really nice shot that you won't see too often unless you happen to land at one. But I love how like the inside of the surface is just the rock itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A nice thing about this perspective actually as well for anyone. Well, I guess you guys will see it in about 20 days' time. But you know that shot, I think it was from the original trailer where it's from the perspective of inside the sort of social area, and you can see through the glass the mail slot and ships flying in and all of that. You'll be able to do that in the game and in real time, see other commanders like leaving and going. And for stations like this, that's just going to look incredible.
And I will point out, as everyone knows, it's played Elite for some time. Don't loiter trying to get a good shot, because they don't like it when you loiter around pads in stations, especially in a very expensive ship, because it won't be very expensive for a while, for a long time after. Sorry. So next up we have Commander BCLV Balaclava. Maybe it's short for Balaclava. I don't know. I'm going to say
or BC level 4, maybe.
Could be BC level 4. These are really cool. These are what Bruce once informed me were called spiky boys. Is this correct, Bruce? This is what they call.
That is the technical term, yes.
Remember when you took me out in I think it was a Condor actually, Explorer Condor we went out in, didn't we?
Was it the Explorer Condor or the Banana Condor? I can't remember which it was.
No,
One of
I
the two.
think it was Explorer Condor we went out in. But these are really cool. And there might be some squishy, but no, there's no squishy boys I can see there either. Just spiky boys. The spiky boys.
Yeah, very nice.
Really has confirmed that is the correct terminology. So it's good. I feel happy about that. So next up we have Commander Daniel A. Illy. What a shot this is. I do like just the star between these two planetary bodies. Just incredible. Mm-hmm. And also the Guardian fighter. Lots of blue. Big fan of this.
Yeah, very nice. Very careful choice of the SLF there to really fit in nicely.
Yeah, and
that's really good. I mean, I haven't seen the others yet, but this strikes me as a contender for a very early first quarter of the year contender for a 2021 Hall of Fame. It's super nice.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. And again, if you want to get involved in Stellar Screenshots, Bruce, you want to let people know how they can get involved in Stellar Screenshots?
Yeah, absolutely. So every week we post threads on Twitter and Facebook where we list the Stellar Screenshots of the week. Just reply to those with your Stellar Screenshots. Ideally in a 16:9 ratio resolution, so that would be 1080p, 2K, 4K, if you can. We also have a forum thread, so in the news and bulletin section, we'll be able to find the thread where we collect the winners from every week. If you do get featured, you'll be winning one of 3 unique, cannot be obtained anywhere else, paint jobs for the Asp Explorer.
Cool. There we go. I don't have images for them, by the way, chat, so I'm not being rubbish and not showing it on screen. I have not put them on, so I guess I'm still being rubbish. Oh, anyways, I'm just rubbish. Next up is Dice Strike, Commander Dice Strike. Lovely little shot here, and nice contrast to the blue, actually, this sort of green hue of a Diamondback just sat on a pad. But really cool shot here. I like the positioning. I like the colour as well. It's so green. We don't often get, it sounds like a really silly thing to say, we don't often get the sort of green hued pictures. I know the SPVFA, I got that right, on the Facebook page, have been doing a series of sort of colours, and they do like it'll be like orange, and then everyone will submit their shots of orange. I don't think I've seen the green or the green version, but this is really cool. I like this. I like shots like this.
Yeah, kind of a misty green going on. Yeah. Nice.
quite possibly contended for the greatest name in the history of Elite Dangerous. Commander Fantastic Spork. Lovely shot here of just like the sort of, it's almost like there's a storm kicking off on that gas giant. And then obviously an ice, I'd say it's an ice ring, isn't it? I'm assuming it's ice ring. I can't see the ship because the name is over the ship. It's a Conda, isn't it? I'm zooming in. That's a Conda. Enhance. That is a Conda, I think, flying through the ice rings. But that's a really cool shot. Really like this shot. And next up, we have Optimus
Prime.
Optimus Prime. Yeah, this is great. Of the, I just say it's the. Where is this? Where is this taken? Actually, this is inside a station somewhere, right?
It looks. I could be wrong, but I think it's one of the tourist themed stations. It reminds me of that, at least if it's not. But I'm sure an eagle-eyed viewer in the audience will tell us.
Yeah, please let us know whereabouts this is. This is really cool. I love stuff like this. I'm going to get it wrong. It might have been Alec Turner that flew around a Coriolis station, sort of in the actual sort of like almost like a trench run of Star Wars. That's really right in and start flying around it, and you get to see parts of the models that you never look at. And it's I love seeing stuff like this up close. Cool. Probably an agricultural station. Judging by the colours, yeah, it makes sense.
That makes sense.
Some say it's an onion head farm. It's illegal, don't you know? Right. So next up, we have Commander Maester James. All red. This is a cool shot of an asteroid belt right near the star. Really cool shot here. Now it's a crate. Is it a Phantom, Bruce? You know your crate. I don't really know the crates. Is this a Phantom?
So it's got the dual engines there, which is a sign of it being a Phantom.
A Phantom. Yes, I like.
No, a Mark II.
It is a Mark II, is it? Okay. I've been in. I think I said this in the previous show. I think my first ever joyride in multi-crew was in a crate Phantom, and I do like the cockpit. I love the way the cockpit sits. It reminds me of. It's very Aliens-esque, like sort of sits underneath some of the hull and stuff like that. It's really cool. Reminds you of the where the was it Prometheus? I think where they have the sort of hangar in front. But it's a really cool ship to sit in and be part of a multi-crew in. So that's a really cool shot. And then we have we've got a few more to go. I'm gonna apologies if I get this name horribly wrong. Some more spiky boys here, all purple this time. Commander Matt Corver. But again, we've had blue, red, purple, green, Bruce, so far today. Just
very nice.
I don't know what that means, and it's not. People are claiming that we're hiding messages in places, Bruce. I don't know what they're talking about. I have no idea.
No, I couldn't comment on that. I'm not sure exactly what.
No idea what that means.
Yeah, really nice shot though. I like that they've got one of the spiky boys, one of the crystals, all the way up close in the foreground, so you can get a nice close inspection of it. And obviously the background, yeah, very, very nice. Well done to Matt Corver.
I see Dice Strikers just joined the chat. Dice Strike, what have you missed? You've missed a lot of stuff, which I'm sure you can read up. But you missed your shot being showcased on Status Screenshots. But it's a great shot. Thank you, Dice Strike, for joining. So next up, and I think we've only got one more after this, I think, is Commander Tugi. Nice little shot of another Diamondback there. Do you know what a Diamondback reminded me of? I looked at it. It looks like a rabbit with its ears down. It looks like my rabbit, actually, with its ears down just on the floor, like a mini lop.
I see it. I can see it, yeah.
Yeah, it's very, and then the SRV in perspective, and it looks like brain trees I can see in the distance.
Just through the wheel arch, yeah, you can see the good spot. It almost looks like the SRV is just massive and it's a little ditty GVS.
I think that's what made me think of it as a rabbit, because it looks so small, and I was like, oh, it looks like Wizard. That's a cool shot. Thank you very much there to send that one in. Then last but by no means least, I love this shot. So Commander Sleep run around a ringed Earth-like world. There's so much going on here. It's beautiful. I love the fisheye perspective to draw them right back, so you get the rings going around it. I like the fact you can see it's Earth-like, because obviously the night side of the world has got the lights on. And then obviously that is... Oh, I'm terrible with this. No, it's not Chieftain. Is that Beluga?
It looks like one of those line of ships. My knowledge of the passenger ships is not as good as it should. It could be a Dolphin, but I will allow the chat to educate me on this.
I'm going Beluga. I'm saying Beluga.
Orca, I'm
Orca.
being told.
Oh,
Okay.
God damn it.
Both of us missed
I
the
know.
mark. Fine.
I know. Well, it was close, but no cigar, Bruce. No cigar. Right, so let's go back to us real quickly. Cool. There's no interlopers on this shot. That's good. Just talking about the ring light world there, and one of the questions that come up when Dr. K was on, and people I did say I'd get the answer for, and I had. To be fair, it wasn't Dr. K wasn't giving the answer. I hadn't asked because I was being rubbish. So ahead of the stream, I did get an answer for. Do they cast shadows on worlds in Odyssey, landable worlds in Odyssey? The answer is no, they don't. And there's many technical reasons for that. But the simple answer is no, they don't. They don't cast shadows on landable worlds. So there we go. It's not stuck in a mouse slot, so obviously it's an orca lol. Look, the only time those ships get stuck in a mouse, do you remember that when was it the passenger rescue missions we were doing? Just as Galnet kicked off, I think it was, and I tried to do one, I just kept getting smashed into the mouse slot.
The passengers would have been safer on the burning station.
They were safe on the burning station, but hey, they got a thrill ride. At least it was I'm assuming it'd be a quicker death, Bruce. So they
right. So it's more of a mercy killing than a passenger mission.
Right, look, I went with them. It wasn't like I. Cool. So I think we're going to jump into your game. I'm going to talk to chat for a little while. Hopefully the game is working. Hopefully there's no interlopers on the camera. Flicking over now.
Is it just me today then?
It's just you, Bruce. And I'm saying it's all on you, so I can have a look at the chat. Chat, feel free to ask me questions about the mission playthrough. I will answer what I can, obviously what I know. As I said, information on the alpha will come very, very soon. I'm working it right now, but obviously the alpha is the 29th, so you'll get to experience all the stuff that Bruce and I and Evan got to play through for yourself.
Alrighty then. So I'm going to be participating in the CG. I'm going to do the combat section or version of it. So let's take a look. See, I'm here at the Spirit of Laylaps in the Sirius system.
Cool.
We have two community goals at this location. I want Defense of the Galactic Summit. So let's sign up for that. You can read more details here, and you can see we've actually reached tier 6 already. That's a really good effort on your part, guys. Well done. Questionable whether we're going to reach tier 7 or not, but there's 2 days left. So if you make the push, who's to say it's not doable?
Cool.
Okay.
I've got some questions that come in. They've asked me, how many times did we die in the mission? I would say a lot. We've done a lot. And one of the, like, just to get an idea of what we were doing. So obviously we had to, it was Bruce and I's first time really getting to grips with Odyssey for a long period of time, and then sort of engaging in combat. So it was us finding our way around the weapons. And I keep stressing this is pre-alpha, so it was like, and I'm gonna, if there are devs, they would absolutely melt when they hear me talk about sort of code. So I'm going to go in the layman's terms that I understood it. So there's like trunk, which is like the main build, and there's branches off that. And we were on like an old branch, a really old branch, essentially so we couldn't tamper with stuff when we were trying to get things to work, and it would mess up all the testing they were doing on trunk. Now, I think I've got that right. So if there's coders and devs in the chat, I'm sure they'll tell me I've got it wrong. So it was really, really old. It was a really, really old branch. So it was the first time we were sort of getting to grips with all the weapons, making sure that the weapons that were in that branch all worked correctly. So also we the first thing Bruce and I did was decide that we were just going to start shooting people, because we thought, hey, look, we've played first-person shooters. We can do this. Isn't going to be a problem. And yes, you can absolutely start going in and start fighting and stuff like that, and you will get a good few kills. But we died a lot. We died a lot trying to get out. Obviously, it's dynamic. So what happened? It's not that wasn't scripted. I did see some people say everything there was scripted in that show. I can tell you now, it was all the AI reacting and stuff that is done via scripting and stuff like that. Not by scripting, sorry, but like via the simulation itself. So it was different every time we played through that. It was different, and that was the challenge of getting that capture, because every time we go into the base and land, there'd be different guards on patrol. There'd be sometimes we'd be trying to cut the panel, and someone would walk past and see the panel getting cut, and that would kick off the fight early. Then also we tried to assess the do we do an asset where we are, we fight our way in, fight our way out. So yeah, we died a lot. There was a lot of death, and also Bruce, I do remember you coming up against some elite guards and getting absolutely pasted.
Yeah, so there was one playthrough where we were in the power room and we ripped the regulator, and you can tell by the little UI that comes up next to the NPCs, which shows sort of their rank and how tough they might be. And these guys just had all the badges. They had clearly like the top military rank. It was gold. There were chevrons and wings and all sorts. And they had this really badass armor. And they just showed us what for. You know,
it really, it really was. It really was. It was difficult. And I'll share another fun story about this. Is we decided we would just go into a. No, we say we decided. We didn't decide. We accidentally went into the wrong branch. And that caused no end of problems, by the way, chat. Just to let you know. So thank you, Dev Team, for not killing us or kicking us out. So we went to the wrong branch, and we got into a settlement where we were quite. It looked the same, but it was not the same settlement at all. So we went into it. It was like a test settlement. We weren't really paying attention, and the power building actually had a different doorway and another exit. So where we set up, we knew what we were doing. Suddenly, this other door opened, and they come pouring in through the other door. We were like, "Oh, there's another door to the room," and we got massacred. Say we all. I was in the ship, providing air cover. Another question I saw there was, why didn't I destroy the Viper and the Vulture that was on a combat air patrol? Two reasons. One, firstly, the minute I started kicking off, it made things very difficult for people down below. And two, you really don't want to start fighting in around a base when the power's on, because the base's defenses are potent and they will shred you quite happily whilst you're up there doing all your fancy stuff, trying to fight Vipers and Vultures. And I was quite confident with the. In fairness, another reason why the weapon set I had on the Crusader was all cannons, and the reason I picked all cannons because I want to have a cool shot. You only kind of see it, which I'm a bit disappointed about. I'll be honest. You only kind of see a little bit of it. We did a few runs where the Crusader sort of comes in and it's like churning up the ground with bullet fire, but that editing that run didn't get cut into it. You do see it sort of hit the ceiling and stuff like that, but it wasn't in there. So it was set up really for like. Cinematic effect. I wasn't really supposed to do any fighting, but you can absolutely go in and be able to lay down suppressing fire.
Yeah, definitely. Smooner79 says they've made progress on the CG but haven't signed up at the megaship. It will count, I think, if you sign up and then hand in your stuff. Anything you've handed in without being signed up, I don't think will count. So make sure you do sign up before cashing in bounties or delivering goods. Someone else in the chat, Fester1902, asked what happens when we die. That's a bit deep and philosophical for an Elite Dangerous stream, but what I will say is in Odyssey, we did touch on this, I think, during the interview with Gareth. Much like now, you'll have a screen. It won't be a rebuy screen as such. It's been sort of updated to allow for the fact that you might not even have a ship. You might just be an on-foot geese. So it's more of like a respawn screen now that caters for both situations. And then depending on your situation, so if you had a ship active nearby, then you'll spawn in your ship in the orbit of whichever planet you were closest to. Otherwise, it will be the last starport that you'll respawn at.
Cool. Someone's asked, will there be any single player content for Odyssey? Absolutely. Like the entire game, everything in it, you can do single player. There's nothing in there you can't do on your own. Obviously, things are easier or more difficult depending if you've got sort of the Calamity Kid in Bruce on your team, who happens to just test what happens when you point weapons at guards rather than just act casual. But it can be easier with other people in your team. It can be harder. It can also be harder if one of your team forgets they're carrying illegal goods when you casually stroll into the base and nonchalantly stand there and get scanned and then realise you're carrying a power regulator from a previous run-through. So all your nefarious plans. But all the content is playable single player as well as multiplayer. And the whole idea behind Odyssey is a sandbox. So we'll just give you the tools, and I'm sure there are all these missions and mission types that Gareth went into. I think there's like over 50 missions. Some which are traditional, sort of brought down to the ground, others which are unique to the ground play that Odyssey provides. But again, you don't have to use missions. You can literally do what you want. You can rock up to an outpost, and you can just decide you want to cut the power or steal the goods or sabotage something, and that's up to you. That entirely plays out emergently as you do it. And that's not to say everything revolves around combat either. There's going to be exploration stuff, and I know people are keen to see that. I am keen to get that stuff put together and show you all. There's some really fun stuff with points of interest. you can go to and see crashed and down ships and sort of have a look at those. There's lots of stuff to look at that isn't just shooty, shooty, bang, bang, pew, pew, pew. So yes.
Absolutely. Someone in the chat says respawn in orbit, A. Yes, but if you had a ship nearby, so you'd be bonked back into your ship in orbit rather than just as yourself in a suit, which wouldn't be very good. But does remind me of a very funny thing which happened quite early on during recording, which was exactly that. So obviously with the dev powers that we have, we can move commanders and ships around and that sort of thing. And we did that for the first time when we were doing the playthrough, forgetting that we weren't on a ship when we tried to move one of our characters, which
Yes.
resulted in someone who was exactly that, in orbit, just in their spacesuit, which is not a position you would want to be in, and thankfully won't be able to get into.
That is not saying there is not zero G stuff in. So, yes. I did see a question that was in there about what was it? I can't remember. Will I be able to? I can. Look at me using stuff. Lots of people asking how long the alpha is going to last. As I said, I'll get that messaging out as soon as I can to you guys. It's not going to be like I think it's. Oh, I'm not getting myself shot here. Look, I'll be honest with you, chat. I think, and I need to double check my notes. I think it's 6 weeks, but I need to double check it. And I'll get it out to you as soon as I can. So that is not confirmation. It's 6. I'm just going to find out, but I never lie to you, chat. So that's what I have in my head. I think it's right. I'll come back to you when I find out. Will you be able to walk around current locations? Anywhere you can land at the moment, you'll be able to walk around. Essentially. So yes.
Including spooky places like Thargoid bases
yes,
and Guardian sites and all that jazz.
You can walk around those places, yes. Can we get a special 07 new team program for Odyssey launch? You know what? I would love to. Let's see. Let's see if we can find them wherever they are in the galaxy. I think maybe like a certain movie, they maybe all split up and gone to different jobs and stuff, and now we have to assemble them and see if we can. Oh, someone else. Sorry, Bruce.
I was going to say S. Hammerlin or Shamelin, either way, asks, what's the difference between a compromised nav beacon and a regular one? I think a compromised one just has more pirates around it. I could be wrong, chat. Let me know, but I think that's basically the difference. It'll be in a system that's in a bit more turmoil than a regular one.
Yep. Cool. Someone asked about where they can change weapons and suits. Can they change them at the ship? You can change them at your ship or your SRV. That's where you can change them.
STV Ace asks in-person job interviews for crew. I mean, you'll be able to do that quite literally with other players in social spaces.
Absolutely, yeah.
If you want to role play that kind of thing, I mean, yeah, absolutely. In terms of actual NPC crew, that I'm not sure about, but for other people, yeah, definitely do it.
Commander Chris Rue says, I want to be the first commander to land and walk in the sun or a black hole. Well, Commander Chris Rue, I'm fairly certain if you are, you won't be around to see the platitudes that are given to you after said walking into the sun or a black hole. So I wouldn't. Just on an aside, I like Neil deGrasse Tyson. I was watching him. I often watch his stuff. I think he's absolutely fascinating. And he was talking about black holes. And someone asked him a question: could a black hole? What happens when a black hole consumes another black hole? And he said, realistic answering, the layman's answer is they would eventually consume themselves and become a giant black hole. However, it's a way more complicated answer. But one thing he did say, he said at a certain point, there would be the particles that are passing in between them, like in an S shape or around them.
They go back in time, right?
They would go back and forward. They would see themselves in time. Bizarre, like space and time.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. It's a nice clip, actually. It's the one where I think it's a second grade kid asks the question.
I think that's when I watched.
Yeah. And Neil deGrasse Tyson's first reaction is, you're thinking of questions at like a 12th grade level. But yeah, that's I always like listening to that guy talk about science.
Yeah, he's big brain, right? Big brain energy, the very epitome of big brain.
Whereas I am small brain because I went to a degraded emissions threat where actually I wanted something else, probably weapons fire, because there were only materials rather than baddies at the place I went to. So forgive me.
Super Golden Knight says kids are very smart. They are very smart. They also tell no lies, which is terrifying when you hand them a microphone because you never know what they're gonna say. So there is an adage: don't work with animals or children, and there's a reason for that because you can't predict what they're going to do. Oh, chat is moving pretty fast. Oh Lord, I'm trying to hang on. I need to slow this down somehow. Don't press too many buttons. Thought you're flying a Mamba. I love the ship. Are you flying the flak Mamba, Bruce?
I am flying that
beautiful.
Mamba, the one that was designed for us by Plater.
Bit jelly I didn't actually join in on this one. I was a bit rushed, but you're flying the flak Mamba. See, that would have sold me, Bruce. If you said that, I'd have been straight in.
Maybe next time. Although we've used this one for quite a while now. I do want to switch it up and find some other build to use, but it is all reliable. The get up and close and personal and just blast them.
Can we drop or lose our weapons? I don't believe you can. No, you can't lose your weapons. So when you die, anything in your backpack will be lost and your mission will fail. And the backpack stuff is quite interesting because depending on what suit you're wearing is the capacity of things you can carry. So obviously the scavenger suit or utility suit has like a larger capacity. So when you're going around doing this sort of scavenging stuff, you want to collect all the really expensive stuff and keep it. Whereas if you go into one of these situations with, say, a tactical suit, not only will you find it more difficult to get into areas because you'll have to use e-breaches or other means, you won't have as much carrying capacity as well. So you either have to do several runs, which then puts you at risk of maybe other scavengers turning up, other players turning up, etc. But yeah, if you do die, you lose stuff that's in your backpack.
Dodger asks, how many players can join a combat team? Is it the same as wings? Yeah, I mean, you could team up with commanders. You don't even necessarily have to be in a wing, but obviously for the best experience, you would ideally be winged up, which as currently is going to be up to 4 commanders.
Someone says, are there tiers of different suits? You can modify your suits and you can modify your weapons. So there are different and they do get better with them. So the higher tier suit does have, higher tier tactician suit, will have better armor / shields, etc., etc. Can we stream the alpha on Twitch? Great question. Yes, you can.
Someone wants to know if there are places which are reachable on foot, which won't be reachable on SRV. Yes, absolutely. I mean, especially in settlements, the buildings and interiors, which we didn't really show off much on the mission playthrough, with the exception of the power room. But every building you saw there, pretty much. No, in fact, every building you can actually hop into, and they're quite in depth. And there's lots of stuff in there to see and to interact with, which you absolutely wouldn't be able to fit an SRV into.
Yeah. Orange Finks asked about the camera suite. To my shame, I didn't really mess around too much with the camera suite. I left that to the videographer guy that was there, Luke, who was doing some amazing sort of the external shots he was using. And I'll be totally honest, a lot of those stuff we did use some of the debug camera to get the really, really far away shots. As I said, I won't lie to you. That's fact. But it is in there. The camera suite is in there. I just didn't mess around with it, which is I feel bad for. Also, I did get another. This reminded me of another question someone asked me about the plasma cutter or laser cutter. Sorry. Can you kill people with it? And I did ask this question to Gareth, and he just looked at me like I was some sort of monster, and he was like, "No, you can't, because we can't have dismemberment in the game." Which is a fair point, obviously age ratings and stuff like that. We don't want to be people going lopping heads, arms and legs off. As fun as some of you might find it, chat, I know the sort of people you are.
Yeah, it's not really the spirit of our game, to be fair.
No.
But if you want, you can sort of imagine someone's head when you're cutting off a panel, if that sort of makes the experience a bit better for you.
Super Godnut says, boo, age ratings. Yeah, I know. Right, they're there to stop us having fun and be horrible people. I know. A non-FPS gameplay, yes, that is. I've heard that loud and clear. I will be trying to get you some non-FPS gameplay footage for you. We are working on some other assets for you right now. I won't give you any detail on them because I don't know how they're progressing, so I don't want to sort of set expectations that I can't meet. So I am fully aware of it, and we will get you some of that footage.
Oh man, just airball after
no, you
air.
can definitely kill other players on foot. You can definitely kill them on foot, 100%. And in fact, there's a whole, which we'll go into later, and I don't want to go into too much detail now because I've already got in trouble for talking about how you deploy in frontline solutions. But there's a frontline solution element where you can join big battles, which Bruce and I naughtily went off and did when we weren't supposed to be doing it. But we did, and it was a lot of fun. Very, very early look at it, but it was a lot of fun. Oh, do you know what, Flintlock? That's a great question. We're using existing engineering materials for personal equipment. I don't think. Look, honest answer is I don't know. I don't think it is the same stuff. I think it's different. I'm fairly certain you get different materials on foot.
Yes, I think it might be there are definitely new materials. It might be the case that some upgrades require some existing ones and others, but I might be wrong on that.
Yeah.
There are certainly new ones at least, for sure.
Good question. I'll make a note to actually raise that, to be fair.
It's disappointing. I'm so rusty. I didn't get a single kill in this area. It was only active for a couple of minutes, but my fish got away. So let's give this another go.
Subsonic said, really enjoyed the alpha preview. Any more sneak peeks coming for alpha? Yes, as much as I can get you, I will get you. So yes.
Twigged wants to know how physical multi-crew works. It's really easy. Just wing up with your friend and then go into their ship.
Yep.
And that's it. Your physical multi-crew, and they can drop you off.
But to a point, you have to be physically there. You have to be in the same system, in a starport or on the ground. You can't just appear in the ship. So you physically have to be there, right? So
yeah.
Yes, it was chosen because it had 3 seats. Correct. STVA77 CQC upgrade coming to Odyssey. Want to unlock the CQC permit lock systems. CQC is, as Bruce will tell you, we are very fond of CQC. Bruce and I, having discovered it so late in our lives, but we have a real fondness for it, specifically Capture Flag. It is on my list of things to push under the noses of developers. At the moment, obviously, it's all hands to the pump for Odyssey. It is something I'd like to see sort of enhanced, expanded upon. But I'm not going to make any promises. Again, I don't do that. It's there. It's something I'd like to see sort of explored a bit further.
That's absolutely right. We are in talks with a lot of CQC players. I actually had a document, a healthy size document sent to me with potential CQC updates and improvements and that kind of thing, which I ought to have gone through last week, but it's been incredibly busy. Hopefully this week I'll get a chance to go through that and refine it a bit. So there is back and forth and discussion from the community and us ongoing, which we do intend to put in front of the developers. Like I say, no solid plans in terms of when things would be implemented. It's all very much design phase and talks at the moment, but it is near and dear to our hearts.
Someone's asked a good question there. So how do can you just walk into the ship? No, you have to be in a wing to multi-crew. You can't just walk into someone's ship. And also, if you are on a wing, you can stop people coming into your ship. You can turn boarding off. So even if you don't want your friends to board your ship, for whatever reason, then you can stop that happening. You can drive other players' SRVs, as I understand it. So you can. So if you were to be flying to, which I know it's been a requested feature. So if you're flying to a planet, and in that ship there is a SRV, and then there is a ship launched fighter as well, and there's 3 of you. One of you can, once it's landed, one of you can deploy in the SRV, and then obviously the other person, whilst I wouldn't recommend this whilst you're landed, but the other person can deploy in the ship launched fighter. And so yeah. Okay, right. So it's 5:30.
It is. I apologize for the poor showing. I didn't get to another weapons fire threat in time, but I did manage to damage someone's ship at least a little bit. I might have to do some more contributing to the CG off screen, but yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the stream. We do have a little segment now, a little surprise bit that we want to share with you guys. So we're going to switch away from me and
now this is not. We all know this is not going to work, right? So, and I can see our guest laughing already because he knows it's not going to work. Here is our guest, which is, come on, Arthur, you can do this. You can absolutely do this. Ta-da! There he is. It's Mr. Benedetti. How you
really
doing?
bad because I'm watching the live stream, so everything's a wee bit delayed for me. Oh, there we go. I can see myself.
There you go. There you go.
Lovely.
How you doing?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Yeah,
we're
really good.
Apart from me just absolutely breaking everything I've touched today, Stephen.
Do you know what? I tried to train you.
I know. I'm the even Yoda can train me, mate. There's not a chance. So Stephen, this is a bittersweet joining. We always love to have you and to speak to you, but you have something, I guess, some news.
Yeah, I do. Well, sadly, this will be my last time on stream as a community manager for Elite Dangerous. I know that might be quite sad for some, but it comes with as you said, bittersweet kind of message. I am moving on to a different project within Frontier, so I'll still be part of the community team. Sadly, I'll still see Arthur and Bruce every week, but I will not be appearing on as many Elite Dangerous shows unless they ask me to come on. They might go, do you know what? I can't do that. So I'm just leaving this project and moving on to a different project, but you'll obviously see me on the Frontier channels in the future for that. So it has been an absolute pleasure being here with you for a year and a half. We've had our ups and downs. We've went through a few releases of updates. We've had a 24-hour live stream, which I'll still be on if we get to do that next year, hopefully. And yeah, I'll still be about. I'm just moving on to a different project.
Okay, well, we weren't just going to let you slope off.
Sorry, what? I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What?
Now, this may not work, but Bruce has worked very hard with the very limited free time I give him to make this happen. Now, I somehow have to drag this from the desktop into here, so our audio will still be live. And I haven't seen this, so no idea what Bruce has done. Here we go.
I haven't seen it either, to be fair. He's hoping it works.
Here we go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Monday.
There's a slight delay, just in case anyone thinks
Today,
I'm not
I have
appreciative.
the pleasure of being joined by our newest community manager,
stream,
Stephen Benedetti.
Hello, everyone.
You took me through some of this, Stephen.
Benedetti.
What?
Stephen
Wow.
Benedetti.
Benedetti. You're not Italian, though?
No,
I'd hear.
I am Scottish.
Scottish.
100%.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to an Elite Dangerous live stream, a Thursday Elite Dangerous live
Those
stream.
braces.
I am community manager Will Flanagan.
I'm not even at the
Tonight,
braces
I'm
bit
joined
yet.
by
Oh, you're not?
the
Oh,
lovely
spoilers.
Stephen Benedetti,
Beautiful.
who you may have seen on our
Beautiful.
Frontier live streams this week. On Monday, you're on a live
The braces
stream.
are
Yes,
strong.
on Monday.
Tuesday, live stream.
Tuesdays on a live stream.
Thursday afternoon, you're on a live
Yes.
stream.
Today I was
Look
on
at that baby face, says Commander Rini.
afternoon.
You've changed. You've changed
And
me.
now you get to be on your first evening live stream for Elite Dangerous. For those who already know Stephen, give him a
You're going for the
welcome.
full
For
effect
those of
now.
you
That you
who
get the puppy
are
involved and
tuning in
everything.
for the evening
They
live
can't
stream,
see the
we thought it'd be a
puppy.
nice
I
bit
can't.
easier
Oh, okay, I
to
can.
reintroduce you as you are going to be one of the new reoccurring faces.
So much
on the
here,
Elite
says
Dangerous
Commander
live streams.
Thor.
Yep. Yes, I am.
Thank you, Alec. Oh yeah, I remember this one.
So you know what this is, Stephen, don't you?
Totally.
So this is one of the first full throttle series episodes. In fact, it was the first one that Stephen won right off the bat. So well done to you, mate.
Okay.
I was going to say, I think this was the only one that I
Good. I think that's okay. We've saved the earphones.
It was the hardest
Dark
race, though, Stephen. It was the
side
hardest
of
race.
the airless moon.
So it's now playing.
On the slightly more interesting side of a ravine, there lived the engineer. The engineer can make your lasers more powerful. Your engines speedier. And your gas tank really, really big.
What do you want?
I want fish.
Wait, what?
What? That's right, fish! Carp, char, chub, jack, loach, crabby, muckabee, prickleback, sole, snook, snake, tang, wahoo, wapagong, banjo, banga, snook, sole, shad, scat. Come on by with the long-nosed cat. Noodle fish, northern squash, hooma, hooma, nooka, nooka, wappa, wappa. What about Swedish
Quite the mood,
fish?
Stephen.
Why the
Quite the
hell
mood.
not? Thanks,
Valentine.
mister.
The
You're in the
infamous
wrong
fish
commercial.
dance was born on this day.
Fish, because, space.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to the Fleet Carrier Content Reveal. I'm Stephen Benedetti, one of the community managers here on Elite Dangerous, and it's my privilege to bring you the Fleet Carrier Deep Dive, where we're going to go through and look at all of these amazing vessels we'll be bringing to the Elite Dangerous galaxy. But don't worry, I won't be doing this alone. I have two fantastic guests with me.
It's actually one of the most stressful times of my career, just because we're going into lockdown.
Yeah, you put one hell of a shift in for this one.
How are you guys?
Super.
I'm good.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm fantastic. Really been excited about this. Really looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much for
Weather.
Thanks, Ron.
My
So as,
favourite.
as you know, the galaxy
My
is quite a
favourite.
big place. So we picked this system, and you can see here it's quite warm because it's the sun. And the further we move to this direction, there's this rock belt,
It's an asteroid belt block.
like a belt that holds up the trousers in space. And it's a bit colder. And then as we move further down, it's a bit colder. And then it gets really cold over this area, and even colder here, because it's space. Back to you, Ron.
There we go. There we go. I'll wait for it to catch up for yourself there.
Yeah, I'm still watching the block Benedetti bit at this point. All right, that's it done. Done.
There we go. Thank you, Bruce, for putting it together. I know you didn't have a lot of time. Stephen, look, I've only been here 9 months, I think. I can't thank you enough for your hard work that you've put in, for the support you've given me, the team, the work behind the scenes, the effort you've put in when you drove down for that block Benedetti, when you drove all the way from sunny Scotland all the way down and all the way back. I enjoyed our very drunken evening that we had together. But I want to point out it's been fantastic having you in the team. I think where you're going is a benefit to that pillar. You are an incredible person. You'll be missed. I know the community will thank you for all the hard work you put in on Elite Dangerous over the years. You will not be forgotten, and I will not let you never come back on this show. In fact, I've already told you that you're coming back. There's no excuse. I will find a way to get you back on. But Stephen, thank you so much for everything. It really is appreciated.
Absolutely. Just to tack on to what Arthur said there, I mean, it's been just over a year now that I've had the pleasure of working with you, mate, and it's been a lot of fun. I know you're not, going away completely. I'll still be bugging you on Microsoft Teams and wherever I can, but and hopefully, have you on for a stream at some point. But no, it's been a lot of fun, man. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. No, thank you. Thank definitely both of you and the rest of the CM team, Zach and Paul. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you guys. And even though we won't be working on the same project, we'll still get to work on other things. But I will miss the berating, the abuse, and the laughs that we've all had kind of together. But no, it's been a wild ride. It's been a lot of fun. And again, thank you so much, community. It's been such an amazing opportunity to work with and for all of you, with working on the community in such a great game. And I've put a wee post on the forums, and it's just a wee thank you. Didn't want to get us Scots and telling our emotions, we just drown it in alcohol. So just know that it means a lot to me, and you guys mean a lot to me, and I'll always remember it.
Awesome stuff. Well, do you want to sign off, Stephen? Since this is actually no, yeah, I mentioned the puppy, and I think it's only fair you show the puppy before you go.
Kobe, this is Kobe if you haven't seen him before. So this is Kobe and I signing off for the last time. He's licking my hand, enjoying himself. But 07 Commanders, keep safe out in the black.
07 everyone. Bye bye.
07.